morning, everyone. Welcome to Fatima's World. Happy New Year. Yeah, it's actually our first edition this year. And I hope we're keeping safe. This second wave of COVID-19 is really worrisome. We have lost very prominent Nigerians. We have lost, even those who are not so prominent as it were, we've lost a lot of people in the space of 13, 14 days. Please, on Fatima's World, I am saying to you, keep safe. Use your nose mask. It could be discomforting. It doesn't matter. For now, we need to preserve our lives. Wash your hands as frequent as possible. Use your sanitizers. You can do the hot water therapy. I was reading it up. You know, the hot water steaming. Please, let all of these things be done in moderation. Thank you very much. God will preserve our lives and He will keep us and take away this dreadful scourge away from us. This morning we will be talking about widowhood. Thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing. Most importantly, thank you for talking back to me. And so you have over 70% of people who said to me, Fatima, let us talk widowhood the morning after. Ooh, I am going to be talking from experience. I'm going to be talking from having to speak to a lot of widows. I'm going to be talking from the front of having a foundation that caters for widows, that have dealings with widows. So maybe this morning I would say Fatima is talking as an authority about widowhood. Widowhood, unfortunately, is defined as a condition or a situation where a woman suddenly loses her spouse. I've had widows of 25. I've had widows who had early marriages who became widows at 20. We've had widows of 70. I love to call them merry widows. We've had widows of 35 in their 40s. And all of that. Widowhood is the sudden loss of a woman's partner, of her husband. The morning after. I tell people all the time, I say, as a widow, the moment this unfortunate incident happens, it is time to pick yourself up. It is not usually easy. It's not a situation that is pleasant. It's not a situation that you will not have to struggle with. But the most important thing to do is speak to yourself, psych yourself up. The Bible says, and David encouraged himself in the Lord. What does that mean? That David knew that having done all to stand, the only thing I can do at this material time is to encourage myself, is to be determined, is to keep pushing yourself. That's the mentality I want us to have at every point in time while we're praying for the best. Always expect the worst if this happens suddenly. Do not be mindful of the people around you at that point in time. At that point in time, families would come, friends would come, foes would come, everyone would come. But hey, for widows who are blessed to have husbands that are a bit comfortable, those people who are coming in are beginning to look at things that they can covet for themselves. In most cases, it might not be in every situation, but in most cases, those people who you think, oh, you're crying and you're throwing all your weight behind, no, they are just there for their selfish purposes. That's why I said the morning after, reality strikes. The moment after the burial, the crowd reduces. And then after a while, it just becomes you and your children. Nobody. Suddenly, people would now limit the calls to the phones. Maybe once a week, how are you doing? How are the children faring? Meanwhile, the day your husband dies, even before the burial, you have a lot of stories. Oh, am I worried? Ma kole bere fun yin, ma ra le bere fun yin. All these things are lies. All of these things I've just said, you know, in Yoruba, is I became a bit sarcastic. People would say, oh, not to worry. I'll give your children scholarship up until the university level. Those things are empty promises. Very empty promises. In most cases, I have seen cases where families have actually stood behind widows and they've seen their children through. But hey, I'm talking of 5%. Yes, I said 5%. So what is 5% in 100%? Not a lot. And that's why the first thing for every woman to do is to be gainfully employed. You do not necessarily have to work in an office. I tell women all the time, I said, a wife of no impact is a wife of no value. Stop this sit-at-home mom. Get something productive that you're doing. Something that can sustain you in the case of any eventualities. Nobody prepares for death. It's an inevitable end for everyone. But please, as a woman, ensure that it's something that you're doing. If your husband has a private business, please be involved in the running, the day-to-day activities of that particular business. Don't be layabouts, women. Don't make it a point of it, oh, my husband is rich, I don't really have to work. You would have to work in a case of widowhood, because those children who you've given a standard of life that they have to keep maintaining, you have to ensure that you're standing in the gap as a father and as a mother. Again, I say all the time that as mothers, sometimes ensure that your children are experiencing the other side of life. It's not in every time that, oh, everything they ask for, you give them. Sometimes make them experience a bit of hardship. Not because you're a wicked mother, but because you must prepare these children in situations of eventualities. And so the first thing we have said is, as a woman, please learn a trade, even if you don't want to work. If your husband says, no, I don't want you to work, it's okay. Please get gainfully employed, learn a trade. There are a lot of vocational trades, vocational skills that are, culminating into money. Get a trade. Secondly, be a wife that is in the know of everything that pertains to her husband. What does that mean? I know women whose husbands have properties scattered all over Lagos. They have no idea where these properties are. You know why? They are not their husband's friends. Their husbands cannot trust them. As a woman, endeavor to work your way through in the hearts of your husband. You must know everything that is accrued to your husband. You must be able to stand and say, no, when my husband bought this land, he bought it for such and such amount. Speak as an authority. Be involved. Like I have said, the only way you can get involved is to be a contributing factor. You cannot be involved and say, oh, I'm just holding my hands. No, please be involved in everything that has to do with your husband's properties and whatever he owns. Thirdly, women, I say all the time that no matter how much wealth your husband gathers, always ask him for grace to be able to save some things for the raining day. Your husband has built a house. Beg him to give you an opportunity to build one for you, even if it's 4 flats, that you can rent out the rest. You have one to stay. In a case where you meet in-laws that are horrible, that would eventually throw you out of the house, you can have somewhere to go to with your children. All of these things are necessary. They are all interwoven into one piece. So no one is going to train your children. And you, so for widows who have female children, please be their friends. We've had situations where we've spoken to some girls who prostituting their bodies on the road, and they said, oh, my father died. My mother is a widow. She was struggling. She couldn't. Contentment is key. Teach your daughters contentment. Let them be contented with what you can give. I keep telling people, take away that vocabulary. I cannot. Yes, we can. Teach your daughter a lot of positivity. Let her know that there's nothing that you've put your mind to achieve that you cannot achieve. Everything is achievable. Remain unstoppable in every situation. For your sons, ensure that you keep drumming it into their ears. The reason why they must be responsible. I was speaking to somebody about 3 weeks ago, and I said, most times, our obìnrin, a man yo. We're always overtaken with joy. We say, my husband is not doing this. He has to change my car. He has to do it. Hey, if you put your age to how old you are, and you put yourself to being a man, would you not marry a wife? Would you not fend for your family? Would you not fight for your children? Have that mindset as women every time that, hey, Fatima is 49. If I was a man as 49, will I not feed my children? Will I not buy things for my wife? Once we have that mindset, we'll take away the spirit of entitlement. Most women feel entitled to their husband's money. You're not. Oh yes, he would give you because you and your husband are one. But don't be totally dependent on whatever your husband brings to the table. Lastly, be wary, be careful how you're treating your in-laws. Don't get it twisted. They are in-laws that you can never satisfy, no matter what you do. They are just naturally horrible people. But they are in-laws that, even if you treated them badly, because of this human milk of kindness that flows through them, they still want to come around. They still want to keep checking on you. They still want to take up a responsibility that they would do. So women, do not be a woman that would say, no, you cannot come into my house. That house, they will not only come in, they will invade and they will take over everything. And there's nothing that you can do. In this part of the world where we come from, whether you like it or not, a lot of things happen in the spiritual. Before you know, they begin to go spiritually, diabolically, to ensure that everything automatically returns to them. Whatever situation that you find yourself in, be very good to your in-laws. You might need to fall back on them sometime. Well, we won't be able to, keep expatiating and doing more on this topic. But do not forget, the morning after is very important. That morning after, nobody is there with you. Learn to encourage yourself in the Lord. Thank you so very much for watching Fatima's World this morning. Keep watching, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep sharing, keep talking back to me. Thank you very much. Do not forget, stay safe. Fatima cares. Bye.